Hi there, welcome back. Ram Anand here once again, publisher and chief editor at Stardom Books. And in my role as the editor and a publishing coach, I coach and train experts, entrepreneurs, and professionals on how to create their very first commercial, non-fiction, or business books. And even though like we have a series of step-by-step processes and a curriculum to follow, sometimes authors face issues in completing their manuscripts, like they get stuck somewhere. And here are, I wanted to bring a few of them on this video today and coach you on what can get between you and creating your best-selling manuscript quickly, rapidly, because today it's all about rapid book creation. If you can create your message out in a big way in the form of a book, then you can get it published and you get all the influence, the credibility, all the benefits of becoming a published author is possible only if you can quickly and properly create your own manuscript in the first place. So once the manuscript is ready, it can be edited, polished, proofread, and put it together, in the form of a book, and then published nationally, internationally, in any way you want, using any of the available channels that you want. But first, what gets in the way of creating manuscripts? Number one is clarity. The first thing that I wanted to teach you about is clarity. And how do you get more clarity about your book? The one and only thing is curriculum. Like I coach my students and my authors on a specific curriculum that they go through this video curriculum and they understand what this book is all about, how to create a book and how to actually break it down to simple steps. So if you are not aware of this curriculum, reach out to the link below in this video, and there's a 9-step process. But I assume that you already are exposed or you have some sort of a curriculum to go through so that you can get more clarity in understanding why you want to create a book and how to go through this process step by step. Number one thing that can come in between you and your manuscript is lack of clarity. So you get more clarity by having a set curriculum for your book and how to create your book. The second biggest thing is framework. I mean, there are different ways to create different kinds of books, but first you will have to choose what kind of book that you are going to create. There are how-to books. There are books that are specifically created to generate leads or leave a legacy behind, like a biography or a memoir. So there are different ways to create your book and different frameworks to choose on how to create that, the step-by-step process. Like every book is created in a different way. So in my course, I teach people 4 or 5 different frameworks depending on the kind of book that they want to create. Let's say, for example, an FAQ, SAQ kind of a book. Like it's a framework that will help any author, even first-time authors who have never created a book before. They can easily come up with a bunch of questions and organize them together in the form of an outline, and then they go about creating the content for those outlines, which is so easy and very effective way to create non-fiction business books. So if you already do not have chosen a framework, the first thing for you would be to choose the framework that best works for you for your first book. The third one is what we call as the the best book syndrome, the BBS. It's in fact this is something that I coined considering and after talking to so many people who are yet to complete their manuscripts. The number one reason or the excuse they want to give for not turning in their manuscript is they want to create the best book ever. Is that going to be possible? Maybe, most likely not, because there's no perfection in this world at all. If someone is a perfectionist, they won't get anything done on time, and that's what creates a lot of delay in completing this project. So instead of creating the best book, try creating the first book that you want to or that you are likely to finish, so that way all books, you can create your first book and then that can be revised. You can publish it, publish a revised edition. So this is an improvement process. First create and then improvise. Maybe after creating your first draft, our editor can edit it for you and make it better. A proofreader can be, can come on the project and make it even more readable. So there are different ways. So you do what you need to do quickly so that the process becomes easier and also rapid, and also you reap the benefit of becoming a published author. You have already decided to write a book and you have already bought into some kind of a course, or you joined my program, and now you have already gone through, everything that others don't know about creating your own book. All you need to do now is make that first attempt, create that first draft. You can even call it as a draft. That's not the finished product, that's not the finished book. Create that first draft and let it go out. Give it to us, let's work on it. Let our editors work on it. So that way you can improvise and bring it out. Trying to create a perfect book, or one more solution, like for some people who are facing time constraints, that is going to be one of another reason that people give for not submitting their manuscript sooner, is also one solution could be to hire a writer. If you are not having a lot of time on your hand, or you don't want to do it, you are not comfortable writing, one solution could be to hire a writer. If you want to hire one of our writers, you can reach out to us. The next one is time constraint, like lack of time. Of course, any book for that matter, if you want to create a manuscript, even though I give you all the step-by-step process and templates and fill in the blanks kind of a template, even if I give all these resources to you, you still need to fill those blanks, right? You need to put in your insights into the book. You need to put in your perspective, or your personality should come into the book. It's not something like a ghost written work, right? So for that to happen, you must have time to invest, however small it might be. Some of our authors, they can create or whip out their entire manuscript in 10 hours tops, and this 10 hours can be spread over, let's say, a week's time or 2 weeks time, or 2 months time. And some of them, on an average, most of our authors can turn in their manuscripts within about 30 to 40 hours of time tops. That's all you need. You need to dedicate about 25 to 30 hours of your time, and when it comes to dedicating time, it should go on your calendar. If these 1 or 2 hour blocks about this book is not on your calendar, it keeps getting postponed forever. Procrastination sets in, because this is something that you are doing as an investment for your future. It's not like immediate importance for most people. It's not a big badass problem that needs to be solved today, writing your book, right? But there's a big investment that can produce mega results tomorrow. The thing is, it has to be on your calendar. If you are having the issue of lack of time as a reason for not completing your manuscript, then probably you should look at scheduling it on your calendar so that it is there, and your block time for this particular session. It could be 1 hour, 2 hours, an entire day, whatever it is for you, put it on the calendar and it can be done. The next one is wait time. Sometimes some of our authors, they have faced this issue. They want to bring in somebody else's perspective into their manuscript, and they excitedly go out and start interviewing people and asking other people to submit their content. And sometimes even after preparing the initial draft, they want to send this draft for peer review. I don't know why people have to do this, but some people do get into this trap of giving their content even before it is published for other people to review. It could be it could be a result of self-doubt, maybe in some cases, or lack of self-esteem or self-confidence. Let's not go into that, but there are instances where you are waiting for someone else to comment on your book or contribute to your book. That can also put a lot of delay into creating your manuscript, and the best way to beat that is give a deadline. If you want someone to review your work, give them your work, give them a deadline. If they don't come back within the deadline, you move on, right? That way you are progressing, and that's how you get the project to completion, to fruition, because unless your manuscript is completed and submitted to a publisher like me, we will not be able to work on it, you know. So that is another thing. Next one is this is very common, writer's block. Very common if you are a person who prefers writing your book, like actually sitting and writing your book or typing it to your computer. Sometimes what happens, you start with a lot of excitement, a lot of idea, and by the time you are in the flow, like you write an entire page or an entire chapter, and then what happens, suddenly everything goes blank. Don't know what to write now, don't know, you feel that it's called brain fog sometimes, you know. And it happens to even professional writers, someone who has chosen writing as a profession, it happens to them as well. That's why it's called writer's block. And anyway, you are not a writer professionally, I guess, like that's not your profession. You are a professional in some other, you are an expert in something else, another domain. So what happens if what do you have to do? There's you don't have to write your book. If writer's block sets in, you can speak your book. Like for example, you can use a tool like a voice recorder, like Otter. There's a tool like called otter.ai. You know, you can use Otter or similar apps or software to speak your book. Actually, speaking is much faster and easier for many experts like you. You know, all you need is an outline. You start with an outline and start speaking about each point in this outline, and we speak at about 150 words per minute, you know, on an average. So if you are speaking for about, let's say, 2 hours continuously on a topic or a subtopic, that can fill an entire chapter in a book. And in case if you have let's say 10 full blown chapters in your book, you can actually speak your entire book in about 20 hours. How cool is that? In fact, in my course, I have an entire section dedicated for this, like to help you how to actually prepare your material for speaking your book. This is fun, this is easy, and this is what can make you whip out your best-selling book content in no time at all. Right? Next one, self-doubt. Very common, very normal, and this is the reason is people consider creating a book as very respectable, and it is, by the way. Like you are creating something which is going to be out there as your message to the world. So during this process, sometimes self-doubt sets in, like who am I to talk about this particular point, or has someone else already maybe they have already spoken about it or written in another book. So it's okay, like it's fine if someone else has already spoken about it, it's good. Like you can give them as citations or references and bring their perspective into your book as well. And sometimes people also think like, you know, talking of self-doubt also originates in the fear of the future. Like for example, what happens if I create a book and people laugh at it, like or start trolling me. I want to talk about this topic here, and what if people come back to me online, offline somewhere and start posting comments, some negative comments about me on this. So all these thoughts come in. Don't worry about that. That can happen to anyone. Even most celebrated leaders in this world, they do have people who are naysayers, tie kickers, and trolls. There's a normal way of life. Instead of focusing those 4 people, who would be troublemakers, let's focus on the thousands of other people who would love your topic, who would want to hear from you, who want to respect you for your insights. Let's focus on them and forget about these naysayers, because they are always anyways going to be there, So let's focus on that. And sometimes it also crops up. Self-doubt crops up from the realm of fear, like the fear of the process, like is it going to work? Am I going to complete my manuscript? Is it going to get published in this way, that way? Or sometimes, as we discussed, it may also be related to the result. Well, will people read this book, or will people like this book, and what will my other, like my colleagues, say about this book? Will they criticize it? Will they will they come back with the negative comments? So all these things are always there. Eliminate that self-doubt and create what you need to create. People will always be there. For every one or two people who would be making negative comments, there will be thousands who would want to read your content, who are waiting for your message to come their way. Like, you are bringing help and hope and help to so many people out there. You are the leader. You are the one who has the perspective, and you can change the world with your message. This is your time, right? Crush the self-doubt and emerge as the leader, which you already are. Next one, topic trouble. What I mean by that? Sometimes, even after going through this coaching and discussing and choosing the right topic and because in our course I teach people how to figure out the right topic. They get not just one, they get dozens of topic ideas when they go through this step-by-step process that I teach people. I advise people on publishing, so how to create their book. Even after this, sometimes they don't know which topic to choose. Sometimes they don't know the topic itself. Sometimes they don't know, out of these 3 different topics that I want to write a book about, which one should I choose? That's another easy issue to solve, I would say. The solution to this problem is pick out that topic which you can finish faster. One way to do that, like, okay, topic A, B and C. I know I can, although it sounds simple, topic C could be the topic that I can finish fastest. I can do it in no time. Pick that. That is one way of handling that. Or you can also choose based on, like, I know this topic A, B and C are there. If I pick topic A, it is more likely that I am going to finish this. So you go with that intuition. Otherwise, you can always hire a writer, or you can discuss with our publishing advisors and come up with a topic that you actually know and that you are passionate about. Like, that's the best way to handle this. That is how we can conquer a topic trouble. And finally, starting trouble. Again, we should go back to the first point here, which is clarity. Clarity can provide you all the picture, the clear picture that you need to start your project. Most people, they don't complete their manuscript because they have not started yet. So once they start, I know they are so committed, they will be able to finish it. The one big reason why they are not starting could be any of this, either self-doubt or lack of time or writer's block. Could be anything. So the first thing that to solve this problem is to go back to clarity, and then the solution to this problem is either, I can give you 2 solutions for this problem. One is start with an outline. That's what I teach in my course as well. If you don't have an outline, creating your book, it's like it's going to be really, really daunting, gruesome and difficult, because you keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's why you need an outline. Very similar to having a blueprint or a building plan before you want to construct a building. Even before the first brick is laid, there is always a plan first. The plan is, the plan details, like with very actionable items, like your room is going to be here, your kitchen is going to be here, your living area is going to be here, and this is how big they are. So that's how detailed the plans are for buildings. And exactly the same way the outlines are for a book, and that's the reason why I start with an outline first. But if you are not if you are not inclined to use an outline, there is another way. If you are more visually oriented person, you can also start with what we call as a mind map. There are a lot of online and offline tools. Put it in a very simple way. A mind map is just a big box or a big circle with the topic inside it. Right? You put your topic, you draw a circle, put your topic inside the circle, and then draw the arms, what we call, like the nodes for this mind map, and write down every other thing that you know about this topic. And those other things, when refined, could become your chapters. Like if you are visually oriented, you can choose the mind map model. If you are detail oriented or analytical mind, if you have an analytical mind, you can use the outline model. And if you want to use a hybrid of both, do it, but get it done. In case if none of these options work for you, either you're super busy, you don't have time, or you're always distracted, because you might be in a role, you might be playing a role where you cannot just turn off all distractions and sit there and write your book. So if that is the case, they can always hire one of our writers, and that's how you can actually, the writer's job will be to interview you and collect all the material from you and write on your behalf, but the writer will have your personality in the work. The writer will get your insights into your book, and your perspectives will go into the book. That way, a little expensive on the costing side, but it's well worth, because a proficient professional writer can create your manuscript very quickly, very easily, especially if budget is not your constraint and time is. If you are super busy, then consider hiring one of our writers. They can do a fantastic job for you. But otherwise, these are the few excuses or reasons that can put a break in creating your manuscript. Especially first time authors, they can face any of these issues, and this is how you can solve any or all of these issues. And if you like to talk to one of our publishing advisors, maybe you have a unique problem or a situation that needs to be resolved, and you still want to create your book, publish it internationally, become an accomplished and celebrated leader in your industry, reach out to us using any of the links below, or email us, go to our website, or comment on this video here below. We'll reach out to you and let's resolve your issues as well. But whatever said and done, I would like to cheer you on and support you and help you create your first book, make it a good success, and also create that space that you truly deserve as a celebrated, internationally published best-selling author. Thank you.